All right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, to the GSL Team League. I am Moletrap, with me is Wolf, and we have an incredible series going on between Incredible Miracle and StarTale, whose star has already finished his tail. Bomber's been eliminated. IM is up 2-1, and Happy is currently on a winning streak.
Yeah, he is. Yeah. He may only be a 2-game winning streak, but that's pretty impressive, especially considering it was 2 games in his worst matchup. Now, the map chosen here is Cloud Kingdom, a very strong map for Protoss. A lot of Terrans struggling on this map against Protoss. We'll see what Squirtle's plan is here. You can see any number of builds from Nexus first to 1-gate expand to Void Rail in here. We'll see what Squirtle's plan is in just a moment at the GSTL with Moletrap and Wolf.
All right. Down here at the bottom left, he's been sent in to stop the Reign of Destruction.
StarTale! Squirtle!
Squirtle, Pokemon Toss, has been sent in to defeat this guy, who's currently beaten 2 of Squirtle's teammates in a row.
I am happy!
Here we go.
Squirtle used to be known by the Korean word for Squirtle, Kopuki. And I'm sure everyone remembers that time back in the open seasons.
What was it again?
Kopuki.
Kopuki? Yeah, and I like... The reason why I was thinking that Squirtle was a better choice, you're right, like Squirtle, he's, I think, a little bit better than Ace. So you want to save him for later, but that's, I think, why you need to send him in now, because he's more dependable.
Yeah,
at this point, you need to put in everything you have at this point, your top player, to shut down that momentum.
Yeah, I can see that choice. Either way, it makes sense. I knew it had to be basically one or the other. And I thought maybe they'd pick Curious because they wanted to throw a wrench into the system. I mean, in the same way that you could see Happy pulled out, Curious could be pulled out in the same way against Happy. But
yeah, good point.
I like this choice because Squirtle is pretty... he's pretty malleable, man. You can use him in a lot of different places. He'll do okay. If he hits a Zerg, he might struggle a little bit, but... Looks like we're not going to see a Nexus burst or even a super fast Nexus, 1-gate Nexus with no core or anything like that. He has scouted no gases, so he will probably make his Nexus around 20 supply, maybe even skip the first Stalker, like we saw earlier already in Game 1 with Seed.
Indeed. And yeah, we're just going to have these guys macro up, and yeah, I'm really curious what kind of strategy these guys are going to employ. If Squirtle has something specific planned for this. I mean, obviously they got to pick this map, but we have seen Protosses do fairly well against Terrans on this map lately. And there's a very fast command center from Happy in the expansion. Not trying to hide it or protect it.
Yep, and double gas immediately behind this. The SAV is trying to block the Nexus. He did go Stalker before Nexus, so the Stalker will be out. He's actually going to eBay block here. But with 2 probes, he actually was not able to build a lot of that eBay. He's going to have to cancel it very soon here. He's going to delay the Nexus slightly. Second Stalker is produced before Nexus.
Does cancel that engineering bait at the last moment there, and the Nexus is going to be planted down finally, but it's going to be planted down way behind the command center, so definitely a early economic boost for a Terran player who's now putting down a bunker by that command center in order to protect it against their early pushes. It's interesting how even when both players expand quickly, the Terran does at first have to be a little bit more defensive.
Yeah. Simply with the micro on the Stalker, it's very difficult to defend your Marines. Didn't take any real damage on that Stalker. Shields got lowered, but neither player losing any units so far this game. There's the second assembler being added. He's, of course, added double gateways, going up to 3. And I think we'll see robotics very soon as well. think he's going to be going for a very creator-esque build. And there's the Robo, the production tab.
There it is.
Factory already started and finishing up right now, as well as the reactor. So we're going to see a starport very soon. And I think the timing... Ooh, he actually made a tech lab on that. I wonder...
No, there is a starport.
Yeah, the third gas as well. I think he's actually going to go into siege tank production here rather than bio.
That's interesting.
Because getting a fast starport like that wouldn't make sense anyways, especially with that tech lab there. I think he's going to go into siege tank production. I wonder... This is an interesting map for this, because even though there is a wide open space in the middle... What? A stalker that was on a watchtower was killed by 4 Marines? I've never heard of that.
That's not supposed to happen.
Even though the center of the map is fairly wide open and it's very long, the way you can siege up at the natural, there's several different choke points that the Protoss will not want to walk into to engage.
That's actually a really good point, yeah.
Especially at the rocks. If you can actually prevent the rocks from being destroyed and start pushing bunkers and siege tanks up that area, it's going to be hard for the Protoss to defend, and eventually his Nexus will be in siege range. Cloak, Banshee, and siege mode, or a siege tank siege mode will be on the way shortly. So he is definitely going to be doing a 2-base Marine tank Banshee push, trying to slowly but surely push his way down to his opponent's natural. There is an observer on the map, a second one to follow. The first observer will scout. He will probably be able to scout the cloak as well, and so he'll keep the second observer at home. But if something goes wrong and he doesn't have an observer at home, obviously that is going to be a catastrophe. Oh, barely going to miss the Banshee.
Oh, crossing paths, but not quite close enough. He is going to go in here and see, and he does see the cloak working away, so he knows that cloak is being upgraded, and as a result, he's going to keep that second observer at home, and is going to be able to deal this Banshee with very minimal losses, even warping in some stalkers to counter that.
Yep, spending a chrono on his observer. Cloak isn't done, but neither is the observer. By the time Cloak is done, the observer will be out, so he's not going to really be able to make use of that.
Oh, actually, he already had a second observer at home. He's making a third observer right now, so he has plenty of observation right now.
Yeah, total coverage of both mineral lines. And a Raven now being produced, rather than continuing Banshee production. This bunker has been salvaged. He's just going to rally the Raven with this push. He's not wasting any more time with this. How many SCVs will he bring? That is the question.
Yeah, he's pushing out here. Does he have siege tech already?
Yep.
Okay.
Double Forge and Colossus on the way, but the Colossus is not going to be there in time. I do not think the first Colossus will probably be out in time, but he won't have range. His opponent will have siege mode.
Yeah.
And he has not enough units to deal with this Banshee. The Banshee going up to 6 kills now.
Yeah, he's actually getting a lot of probes. That was really weird. He had stalkers there, he had observers there, but he kind of didn't use them effectively enough. And he's actually going in both sides, so now that the observer and stalkers are in the natural, this Banshee comes in the back of the main and gets another 6 kills, I'm sorry. Wait, 6 or 8, something like that.
I'm really baffled. It was 5 actually. I'm really baffled as to why he turned around with his Marine tank army. I actually had the perfect opportunity to move into position, use that same Banshee for vision to push the sentries back so he could slowly start pushing his way through that rock choke point. There was no Colossus out at the time either. He had a huge opportunity to use the Banshee to distract and grant vision so he could move forward there, but he did not take use of that. He just didn't do it. He just went home for some reason. Now he's got the ability to take a third if he wants to, and he does have a third command center on the way, but
I think he was just worried about the power of that Colossus, and he's like, well, you know what? Right now, I just killed a dozen of his workers. I've got the better army. Why don't I just take a third and play a longer game and take my advantage to a longer game? That might be what he's thinking here, but you're right. I think he also could have just gone for the kill and might have been successful.
Yeah. It is hard to say.
Better safe than sorry, though.
I mean, he starts Viking production now. He didn't even see the Colossus, but I can see the fear there. And because he didn't see the Colossus, he doesn't know
he didn't see it.
Yeah.
Okay, well.
Oh, these Stalkers are not going to be quite enough to stop these Marines, but when the rest of the army gets there...
Oh, except he actually stops dropping. That was a mistake.
Yeah, that was a little bit weird.
He got really lucky he didn't just lose that medevac, because he only dropped 2 Marines out and then stopped dropping them out. He must have moved the medevac and it went to move command instead of drop command.
Yeah, very likely. Very, very close call there. Right now, the supply 20 up for our player from IM, Happy. His Viking count increasing now. No armory for upgrades for Vikings. It's on the way though, halfway done. 1-1 is on the way as well, but 2-2 has just started for Squirtle. Squirtle is going to try to secure a third here, but that's something Happy already has. He's going to just get his first glimpse of it now with the Observer. And right now, as far as upgrades go and unit composition, Squirtle's in an okay place, but the Siege Tank count has stopped. He's actually switched over to Marauder production. And this is going to be a very scary moment. Things will become scary very quickly, because with those Siege Tanks in the composition, he's got a total of 4. Usually that's the key number that you make with this type of composition. Those Siege Tanks alone just add so much DPS. It's hard to approach this Bio army. Medevacs are going to start coming out here too, as well as after he gets that Viking count where he wants it.
Yeah, not to mention the Siege Tanks are going to be pretty good at focusing down Colossus. If they're positioned correctly, Siege Tanks are the only thing in the game that has a better land range than Thermal Lance Colossus. So they can outrange those, pick them off if they try and engage his Marines. And yeah, Happy just has I just noticed that he actually has a huge supply lead right now. He's ahead by 40 supply.
Yeah, I mean, he's just really hit things off with that base. Takes control of the Watchtower, Force Field. Nice Viking volleys there. Almost taking out a Colossus. The rocks have been destroyed, and Happy is not wasting any more time here, man. He's got 6 Vikings out, 2 Banshees as well to add DPS. And he scans.
Oh,
there's something
free
else.
Colossus.
Free Colossus. There's no Observer with this army as far as I can see, so that, you know, those 2 Banshees are going to be able to jump in and do whatever they want. Okay, there is an Observer in here. He just rallied it in by the looks of things.
Now, he has Templar, but he doesn't have Storm, so he's having to make Archons with that. And yeah, he's got 4 Colossus, but +1 is about to finish for the Vikings, and then they'll take out those Colossi even faster. Point defense drone has gone down to protect the Vikings from Stalkers. Although he should have put him a little bit farther in. He's got this point to fall back to. As soon as he goes in to try and attack those Marines, he goes into the tank fire. It's all going on. The Vikings are completely unhindered, slaughtering the Colossus so quickly. Are they going to do enough damage, though?
I think so, Moltrap.
Yes, they are.
The Colossi did not do enough damage in time. The tanks remained alive. The point defense absorbed all the Stalker fire. And mules are being dropped here. Kind of surprised he hasn't dropped his Vikings, to be perfectly honest with you, but looks like he doesn't need to. This army will be cleaned up, though, if he does not.
Yeah, it looks like he is going to clean that up at the loss of many probes. Yeah, I'm a little surprised he didn't drop the Vikings to kill all those probes. The mules are there, too. They're willing to fight as well. Should actually set them to repair or something like that so they can repair the Vikings.
Yeah,
that's what he's doing.
Just that, but Vikings are now trying to kite against charged Zealots. There are mules to tank, and a little bit too soon for Happy to be celebrating.
Yeah, it's time to get out of there. And turns out bad macro is not a good celebration technique.
Yeah, well, he just didn't rally his units. Either way, he's still going to win this game.
He's still way ahead. Yeah, still now 50 supply ahead of Squirtle. Happy is just on fire today. I have no idea what StarTale can do about this. If Happy does clinch this game, I don't know what StarTale can throw at him.
It's going to be a tough choice, that's for sure, but 52 supply up now. Mobius Reactor finishes right before the 5 ghosts. So, well, one of the ghosts finished before that, but the other 4 will get the upgrade. Zealot almost forced to cancel on the command center, or rather delayed it. It wouldn't have been canceled, but he's like, I guess I'll get this gas. No, you won't, Zealot.
No, you won't.
Right now, the composition, I'll give you guys some unit counts. 15 Zealots, 4 Archons, a Colossus, and 2 Sentries up against 8 Vikings, 22 Marauders, 16 Marines, and 5 Ghosts. 6 worker deficit for Squirtle. Of course, that's not including the triple mules, which are equivalent. They're equivalent to about 18 SCVs.
Yeah, as long as
fourth orbital man, he's going to have 4, so it's going to be even worse.
As long as he just drops them on minerals instead of on his opponent's Nexus. Yeah, fourth is being taken there by by Squirtle at least.
Yeah, it's being taken, but it's soon to be being taken out.
Yeah, nice, plump, maxed out army. He's even bringing some SCVs along because he can afford to waste them right now. A drop going down in the third as well to do some damage. Here he goes. The Vikings are slaughtering. The Colossus doing almost no damage. They get killed so fast. And he can just kite for days with these Marauders, but the Archons are pretty buff.
Yeah, he didn't have his ghosts not all with his composition there. Couldn't have gotten the best, or could have gotten better EMPs off. It's not. I'm not liking how Happy is fighting these battles. He's not microing. I mean, quite frankly, he's not microing very well. And yeah. It's almost as if he's trying to be funny, but those Vikings are being dead weight. And now he's got the composition to where he can really just charge in. The upgrades right now are 3-3 against 2-2. That's also started coming to play here. I mean, that's why we're watching. We're like, oh, he should have won that fight, but for some reason the Zealots and the Archons are still just killing stuff.
Yeah.
Personnel cloaking being researched now.
Yeah, well, during that battle, it was still 2-2 versus 2-2, but yeah, in the next battle, having that extra upgrade advantage is going to be really good for Squirtle. But the Ghosts are now in play. He's got a lot of Ghosts. All he needs to do is place an EMP on each of those Archons, and they will melt. Melt like butter.
Yeah,
they'll melt like ZeNEX ice cream. They'll melt like ZeNEX ice cream in the By Sun.
A lot of these Archons still low on shields even from that last battle. They are starting to recover. Hallucination being researched now. +1 shields is finishing up. He may hallucinate some Colossi to absorb Viking shots. He may
That'd be clever. I'd like that.
Well, hold that thought. We're going to actually have these rocks destroyed. We may have our engagement in the middle of the map rather than towards one of the bases of Squirtle, interestingly enough. I cannot believe this base was able to, he was able to get that base up. It's hard to believe. The engagements have been in wrong positions for
I can't believe Happy hasn't dropped it.
Yeah.
Dropped a few Marines behind the minerals or something.
Yeah, at the very least.
And Happy has taken a 5th base. Squirtle cannot. Happy is just all over the map, making sure he can't take any extra bases right now. Right now, Squirtle arranging his army in the best possible configuration, making sure those Zealots are in front. But oh no, a few Zealots might have gotten out front too far. They do get back to the army though. And Happy is not sure if he wants to engage here, but you know, he doesn't really have to.
What is he going to hallucinate, Moltrap? Will it be Archons or will it be Colossi, or will he not hallucinate at all? Oh, this is actually a really good position. Oh my god, it's actually great for Squirtle. The Colossus getting a flank here.
Archon soaking up so much damage in the front. He's actually going to do a lot here. What happened to the Vikings, man? I think the Archon slaughtered them, and he just destroys Happy's army. And what the heck just happened? Squirtle takes a 40 supply lead and types a slash.
Well, he's going to take out the Ghost here as well.
I think that was just a mistake.
Yeah, of course. I think the story of this game is passivity from Happy, an overconfident engagement, and passivity is leading to his downfall here.
I didn't actually, I missed it. First of all, what happened to the Vikings? Did they just get killed by the Archons?
He did not. He kept losing them consistently after landing them and doing other funny things with them and never remade them.
Oh, okay. So his just count was too low.
Yeah, his
the
count
other thing,
was too low.
What happened to the Ghosts? Did they actually EMP?
Not really. They cloaked.
I didn't see them do any EMPs. That's why I'm like, did I miss them? Or did he just fail?
I think he got 1 or 2, but the EMPs were not significant. He cloaked his Ghosts, but they didn't really do anything. I mean, they were not very useful in the composition. He wasn't able to escape with them. Now look at the supply. The tables have turned. The economy right now is pretty much even. And I just have to say, there was no reason that Happy should have allowed that base to get up. He should not have allowed his opponent to max when he was about, I guess, what, 40 to 50 supply ahead?
Yeah.
Multiple times during this game. The only concern of his, I think, was upgrades. A nuke is in production as 4 more Ghosts are about to pop, and +2 is on the way. But I don't think Squirtle's going to allow him much more time. I cannot believe...
Well, he's going to have this nuke, and that means a couple things. It means, A, he can use it defensively, try and force Squirtle's army back to give him more time to max out again. And that's exactly what he's going to try and do here. He's going to try and bait him into it, actually. I don't think Squirtle's falling for it, though. Nope. It was a cute idea. He was trying to place it on his own army so that when Squirtle pursued him to try and finish off his army, he would run into it and he would get a kill, free kill on the entire army that way. But
it's still
now the nuke's gone.
It still bought him some time, but the thing is he's not really mining, so did it really, I mean, is buying time even worth it? Some EMPs were missed on those Archons.
That is just scary. Archons are so scary.
4 Templar with Storms as well in this
Oh,
race.
wow.
And
Yeah,
plus 3
Squirtle's
shields.
completely turned the tables.
I mean, actually, it's so shocking to see.
Oh! Oh!
Wow.
Oh, man. That was like 30 SCVs now that have just died in those few volleys of Colossus fire. That was disgusting.
17 SCVs to 69 probes. Dark Shrine on the way.
It's got a lot of ghosts.
Gravitic boosters on the way for the observers. And
Look at that, 56 workers killed by Squirtle this game. Probably most of those in the last 30 seconds. He's got a ton of ghosts there. So, I mean, basically his plan is to spam EMPs on everything. And that will make the Archons worthless. It'll soften up the Zealots. If he can get all the Templar as well, he could win a battle. But it's going to be tough because he's down 70 supply.
he's going to have +2 for his Vikings. He's making 3 Vikings at a time. His Viking count going back up to 9 here. EMP does hit one of these Archons. He needs to fan out, though. He cannot fight into this concave.
Remember, EMPs only do 100 shield damage, so in order to actually take out the shields of an Archon, you need to get it with 3 EMPs.
Not to mention the Archon's shields are about to be a +3 in a few seconds.
Oh my goodness.
Here we go! Oh, he's not going to commit. This is a terrible place to engage.
And Squirtle knows that he can just camp that and keep this big concave. And Happy will never get a 5th again.
Happy needs to take the location over at the bottom right. He needs to stop trying to take this particular location. He never will.
Oh, nuke is being launched again. It's on the army of Squirtle. Squirtle's engaging forward, though. If he was able to force Squirtle back, he would force him into the nuke. But the storms go down on everything. GG! Squirtle has done it and stopped the winning streak of Happy.
I bet you Happy is going to have an embarrassed look on his face, man. He was so embarrassed we didn't even get to look at him.
Yeah, he was so far ahead in that game for most of the game, and then Squirtle just won one big battle and turned things around. Beautifully done by Squirtle.
Let him take that base. Why did he do that? Why did he allow that base to be taken? Why did he allow Squirtle to remax? That's the only way Squirtle could have won.
Uh-oh.
Oh, Ace
is leading them in a ceremony here. And what does that say?
I don't know. He's moving it too quickly. I can't see it. I don't know, actually.
I don't either.
I just literally can't see it. There's like a glare.
He's like, Bomber, you're holding it upside down.
I actually just... what I've just been told by someone that it means is that it means there's no cheese in a cheeseburger, but like they're saying that because they don't have their ace players or something like that.
Yeah, they're saying like you're missing your key components. Cheeseburger without the cheese.
Yeah, they're not even trying to say
they're
like...
They're not saying like cheese bills.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow, so Squirtle, I said that was a crucial match, and it certainly was, and now we have a very different situation where instead of Happy getting 3 kills in a row, it's actually at 2-2 now.
I guarantee you, man, I am Coach gonna Happy run some laps tonight. Run some laps, man.
Oh, he got 2 kills. Happy, he's...
Yeah, but that's not what's
earned
important,
himself.
Man. See, that's what Happy would say. He'd be like, but Coach, I got 2 kills. He'd be like, listen, you dropped the mules, you could have denied that 4th base.
It's true. He dropped those mules. Imagine if those mules had been...
He dropped those Vikings. He dropped the Vikings after. If he had dropped the Vikings during, the game would have ended for sure. But then he was like, nah. Then he was so
you're right. You're totally right. He was so confident that he had won that he didn't actually clinch it.
He's going to be like, what, are you Bomber? I mean, come on. I mean, it's just, it's this type of thing is so frustrating for a coach. We'll see what IM is going to do next.
Wow. And the IM team is going to send out... I'm not sure who that is. Is that Yoda? Oh, it's Horror.
Yeah.
Another Terran player.
Actually, Horror's a Zerg.
Oh, I'm sorry. You're right.
Yeah. and the map is dual sight. So Squirtle's got his work cut out for him on this one.
Yes, indeed.
And you know what that means is they're saving Crossfire, which I find to be really interesting.
Interesting. Yep, they are saving Crossfire, although of course the other team can then use Crossfire at some point as well.
Yeah, so that's something to think about. But if you have a Zerg out, if he wins this match, opponent's not going to want to use Crossfire, so it's kind of like it's in their hands if he wins this, which they're expecting him to win. Horror has been around a while in the team league. He's been a really good practice partner for a lot of Terrans. A lot of Terrans practice with them, is what I've been told. I've seen some FXOpen players practice with him as well, and he's a good player to practice with. He's very open to practicing with other teams. He's shown some results in the team league in the past. He's not like a top ace player for team league, but he's done okay.
Yeah, I'm just trying to find some information about him right now. He has done pretty decently in some tournaments. He hasn't really been in the GSL, but he's been playing in some other tournaments here in Korea. But yeah, he's definitely just kind of relatively untested, though. He hasn't played anyone too big of name that I can spot here. Oh, apparently he beat Huck in a tournament not that long ago. The EVM?
EWM?
EWM.
Yeah, it's
sorry.
an esports weekly match.
Oh, that's right.
It's the tournament I will actually
that's right.
finals of.
Oh, cool.
There's Code A spot on the line.
Yeah.
Finals of that will be on March 5th in Korea, for those of you guys interested. I'll be casting that. 1 p.m. I believe. But anyways, dual sight is loaded. Ball Trap will see. He can take this game. Bring IM back. Will Squirtle continue his streak.